Greetings, Earthbound travelers. It's Saturday night. That's time for Will of the Dice to present Sins of Blood. I'm Tier the DM, the world's okayest DM, he, him, and I will be your guide this evening. Before we begin, a few quick announcements, a few quick introductions. First and foremost, we offer a mature audience. Viewer discretion is advised. Secondly, we do not encourage the use of nicotine products such as vaping. Just because we do it doesn't mean that you should. We want you to be happy and healthy. And third, we are in no way, shape, form affiliated with any TTRPG creator, publisher, or manufacturer. We're just a group of individuals come together to play our game and share it with you. Locke.
Hi, gamers. I'm Locke Clark, and tonight I'm going to talk to you real quickly about the musicians who have provided music for our show because they heighten our experience, they heighten your experience, they make the whole thing better. Those musicians are Michael Gelfie, Jeff Farber, Kevin MacLeod, Dwergar, and our very own Patrick Taylor. Thanks, Peculiar Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick.
Greetings, gamers! It's that time of night where we discuss what you need to do. Go out to the web, find your browser of your choice, and hit www.patreon.com. Look up a Will of the Dice, hit subscribe, help support this channel. By subscribing, you get access to After the Rolls, where we discuss what the hell this we got done to us by that poor evil DM tier. You get access to interviews with the players and what they're like outside of this motley crew. You also get access to all these episodes before they hit Podbean and YouTube and all the rest of the streaming services. So please get out there, help support this channel. We very much appreciate it. It very much helps keep things going, helps us provide more content. Also, Locke is holding up. For the next 20 subscribers on Patreon, you will get a big, shiny Earthshaker 55mm 20-sided dice resin cast by our partners, Red Panda Dice and Delights. So please get out there and subscribe. We very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Normal size for comparison next to it. That's a regular D20.
It's a chunky boy.
It's a chunky.
All right, that's our announcements. Also, you can find us on YouTube if you want to watch video on demand. Let's get into introductions.
Greetings, Garum. I am Raph the Mad. I'll be the voice of Sarek the Blade, the 6'9" bronze dragonborn who's fallen of this motley crew is now stuck in the court of the Fairy Queen. So it'll be fun. I am he, him. He is also a he, him, and I can be found at BOK Dragon 13,000 at dice.camp on Mastodon.
Hey everybody, I'm Ren Matley. I'm going to be voicing Nan and her counterpart as Mina. I'm she, her. They are she, they. Nan appears to be a 5-foot tall elf with plain brown hair, plain brown eyes, who wears fairly loose-fitting, nondescript clothing, and would really just like everyone to think she's nothing more than a cartographer. You can find me over on Twitter at Ren_Matley.
Hi, gamers. I'm Locke Clark, and I assume it's my turn to go because I don't see anyone else talking. My headset just cut out on me, so I didn't hear any of the last part of Ren's introduction, and I can't hear anything still. I'm working on fixing that, but in the meantime, I am Locke, he, him, and I am playing Laz, they, them. They're 5'5", unearthly pale white, with blue-black hair that's shaved on the sides and the back, odd-colored eyes, mismatched, and scars over most of their body that seem to be some sort of script. They didn't get attached to anyone last week, so they're just a lonely them in the corner still, unattached and apparently left out because that is Laz's lot in life. Anyway, you can find me on the social medias at Locke Unruly, and I'm going to shut up now and fix my tech issue.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Patrick, the voice of Draft Vitikin. Part of the Ingramoran exchange program, Dreft is a 5'6" Umberkin trained in the art of assassination. Now set to stop Vashka, he is determined to leave his name in the history of books, or the book of histories, or he wants to leave his name in history. And he is unsure about being connected to somebody in such a deep and philosophical way. And you can find me on Twitter at Peculiar Patrick.
Hi, yes, this is Ames. I am the voice of Brekke. We are both she, her. Brekke presents normally as a 5-foot elf, but as a lot of people have found out, she is actually a 5-foot fairy. She's got indigo blue hair with 2 acid green streaks at the temples, matching green eyes, and lavender skin. Um, things have been weird. We're gonna see how the rest of this goes. Um, apologize to Sarek now, because he's about to find out about a whole lot of stuff that Brekke keeps, like, tamped down real deep inside. Yeah, and you can find me over there at LollyG50 on Twitter.
I said at the beginning, I'm Tier the DM, the world's okayest DM, and you can find me on Twitter at Tier_the_DM. As always, our safe word for tonight is porcelain. Any last requests before we get started?
Not the face.
Always the face. One more thing I do want. This is the 2nd year anniversary of my wife passing. And so I want to dedicate this episode to you, Karen. You helped me become a better DM, and I wouldn't be where I am today without you. So we miss you. When last we left our party, they had traveled to the Nightmare Realm where they met Roscoe and Madame LaRue. They had struck a deal with the devil, so to speak, on information on how to kill the diviner of Gossamer Bay. They faced the darkness of themselves, and some became attached in a magical, sharing, emotional way. They were then delivered to the kingdom, the throne room of the fairy queen, Llewellyn Rose, where the Gossamer Bay diviner had slipped their obsidian coil, and battle ensued. The diviner was defeated, slain by the taking of their head, the lucky shot coming in from Sarek at the end. A voice would fill the throne room, that of the fairy queen Llewellyn Rose, commanding the guards kneel to their princess. And this is where our story resumes. And this is where you discover you have been forsaken to the will of the dice. The guards instantly to a dragonborn kneel. The lords and ladies that were there in the court at the various tables follow suit, kneeling as well. At the end of the long runway, the carpeted runner that leads up to the steps that takes to the throne stands with glistening eyes, Llewellyn Rose.
Brekke's watching all this. She's just kind of, like, shell-shocked, and also looks on guard because of what they've just kind of gone through. She's got, she looks like she's about ready to cast a spell if need be at any moment, but mainly it's like, it's shell shock.
Sarek will sheath Arabane's patience and take up station behind Brekke in the bodyguard's position and kind of nudge her.
Nan is going to step back, just very gently touch a hand on Brekke's shoulder. We're right here if you need us.
Brekke nods. She hasn't stopped staring right at Llewellyn Rose, and Sarek would already be picking up that this is completely different. There's like a swirl of emotion where it's instant recognition. Like there's beyond a shadow of a doubt, Brekke knows exactly who Llewellyn Rose is. But she still just can't. She's still kind of frozen.
Llewellyn Rose will move first, then a few attentive steps forward. The queenly poise and grace maintained as they descend the few steps from the throne to that carpeted runner leading to you. The guards will part, making way for their queen as she seems to glide, moving ever so closer.
Well, at least this time I know it's you.
Pardon?
Brekke pauses a minute and she says it again. She says, at least this time we know it's you.
I'm sure there's a story behind that.
Yeah, there's quite a lot. More than probably what needs to be said right in the moment, but does the name Lalaurie mean anything to you?
Madame LaRue.
Yes, sorry.
I've not heard that name in quite a while.
She's how we got here.
Interesting. So you are Lynn Kleina.
That's what everybody has said so far. I hadn't heard that name until very recently. For a really long time, I didn't have a name. I gave myself the name Brekke.
What an odd name, Brekke.
It's one of the last things I remember hearing spoken before I was taken by somebody other than a drow.
Do you know what it means?
No.
We will have to have a private conversation, and I will refresh your memory then.
She just
Who
raises
are
an
your
eyebrow.
friends?
Well, that's also a long story. She's gonna kind of turn sideways. She's gonna indicate each one and give their names. We're fated or a part of a prophecy. That's one of the main reasons we came here. Until this prophecy, until we were pulled into this fate and prophecy, I didn't even know you existed. I thought I was just, I don't know. And, but yeah, we came here because there's supposed to be possibly something here in the Silver Spire that can help with this. Vashka's trying to have herself released.
A wave of murmurs will run through the guards at the mention of Vashka. The stone cold face of Llewellyn Rose will flinch for just a moment, giving away recognition of the name.
I take it you recognize the name.
Yes. We will see that you are given sufficient quarters, you and your friends. We will have a feast. And we will speak before the feast, you and your friends. Gerard, a Dragonborn, will step forward, show them to the ambassador suites. They will find themselves quite comfortable there. Anything you wish, I offer to you freely.
Thank you.
The Dragonborn indicates for you to follow and leads you from the throne room through the gardens into the castle spire proper, up a series of steps. You will bypass beautiful tapestries, mosaics, paintings, statues, beautiful works of fey art, and you will be brought to an enclave with 5 doors, 1 in the center and 2 on either side. The ambassador suites.
By the way, as we were all turning to head this way, when we were leaving the court, and she said we could have anything we wanted, anyone who was really close to Laz sees Laz thinking about asking for something, but then shaking their head and then just following the group.
Sarek will wait for Brekke to choose a room, and he'll choose one next door.
Yeah, Brekke just will take the first one they come to. Is there multiple rooms, or did you say there's just 2? Oh,
There's
there's
5.
5. Okay. Brekke goes into the first one.
So the rest of you take quarters?
Sarek will
Yeah.
take the next.
Nan will look to Dreft and Lazarian. Do you have a preference?
I assure you, I would not know what to do with an entire room. So no.
Ralph just shakes his head.
All right, then. Nan's just going to go to the last door.
Okay.
Ralph just picks an empty room.
I'll take whatever's left.
So these are definitely for visiting people of importance. There's the large canopy bed, the large claw-footed tubs, the formal sitting area with beautiful blue and purple flamed fireplaces, a balcony looking out over the Gossamer Bay in each room. There are even servant quarters in the suites.
Holy hell. This is bigger than the house I grew up in.
Indeed. Sarek will drop his pack, look for a washboard, and start cleaning up a bit. And then he'll walk out to the balcony and just sit and stare across Gossamer Bay for a while, trying to process everything that's happened in the past few hours, few days.
Ralph does something very similar, except for instead of washing his clothes, he washes himself. And then has a moment, just kind of Sitting there, probably looks out and sees Sarek and like waves.
Brekke's not going to bother with a bath or anything. When she gets in the room, she first thing she does is take off the robe of eyes to kind of, let her wings back loose. She's gotten used to not having them wrapped or hidden, so it's been uncomfortable. And then the next thing she does is pull out her black special tarot cards, and she starts trying to read. But before doing so, she holds them for a second and whispers very softly to them, asking that someone named Rosamay show her a sign.
The Empress card is presented.
Okay. She's just going to do a 3 card, so she'll lay out the Empress as the first one.
Empress is the first one. The meaning of life and change. Temperance is the next. And the Hermit, the last. So, life, strength, tolerance, and being able to recognize a teacher in humble disguise.
She's just gonna shake her head and wrap the cards back up and put them back in her bag. And then she is just pacing.
Nan is going to get cleaned up and then just kind of crumple on the floor next to the bed and cry.
Now, it is at this point I am duty bound to remind you that, Dreft, you can feel everything that Nan feels. Sarek, you can feel everything that Brekke feels.
Mhm.
Laz, you feel the ship.
Like, even though I'm not in the chair and I'm now feeling the ship.
Yep.
That's an interesting twist.
They will come and knock at your door, Brekke.
Brekke will answer the door.
Llewellyn Rose will be standing there.
Brekke will nod and step back to allow her to enter.
He will enter gracefully, that queenly poise held intact, until she hears the door behind her close, and silver tears will run. I never thought to see you again. I always hoped, but I never thought.
I didn't know you were even... I didn't know you existed until recently. I had no real recollection of anyone.
That's because of a stupid war that should have never happened. Well, let me look at you, and she will gently take your shoulders, give a gentle squeeze. She will look at your eyes. She'll touch your hair tentatively.
Brekke just kind of freezes up a little bit.
And that anxiety will wash through you, sir.
He will touch his Wispinator. Rika, are you okay?
Um, she leans towards it and kind of touches it as best she can with her chin, and she just says yes. And in that moment too, it's like you kind of you're gonna feel the anxiety get shoved down, and a little bit of like she basically bolsters herself. She after she says yes, she's gonna tilt her chin up a little bit while Llewellyn Rose is looking at looking her over. She kind of tilts her chin up a little bit, and you know, uh, everybody says we look alike. I had no
You are
idea
more
what it
beautiful
was.
than I, my daughter.
I just didn't know what I was. Did Why didn't somebody come for me?
We tried. We could not find you. The drow used powerful magic to conceal you from us. The war grew so pitched and heavy and so close to decimating our people. I had to pull the silver spires from the prime material from Runeth Kesha into its own dimension. But we still looked. And by the time we had any word that you might be in the main houses of the drow, you were not there. You had escaped somehow.
I still don't know how that happened. For as long as I can remember, they kept me in a 5x5 cell. Sometimes there was one other person in there with me. We were never allowed to talk. Um, we weren't allowed to move. We were pretty much, we could only sit until one of them came to get us to have us do or perform whatever magic or whatever they wanted. Um, but that night was different. The manacles and the collar just fell off. And then I heard a voice that just told me to run.
Well, you're here now, and you're safe.
I don't know if we are, though. There's I don't understand it all, but there's a lot that's going on.
Perhaps when we speak with your friends, we can make heads or tails of it.
Maybe.
May I hug you?
You're gonna see that she hesitates for a second, and if she hadn't noticed before, but when Brekke holds her arms out a little bit, that's when she's gonna notice that all along her entire wrists and even up her arms is the scarring, but mainly it's at the wrists that um, the manacle or the shackle scars are. And Brekke just will hold her arms up, kind of out and open. Okay.
If ever there was confirmation needed of who this person was, It is in this hug. For truly a mother's hug cannot be forged. Cannot be made into a work of fiction. It is a truth that is universally felt. And in that moment, for the first time, that you will be able to truly remember, you feel a mother's hug. You feel a mother's love. You feel the warmth of her tears. Feel the gentle shaking of her shoulders as she tries to contain herself, to comport herself as a queen should. But as a mother whose prodigal daughter has returned, she is both elated and heartbroken. Elated at the fact that you are alive and well and are here before her, and heartbroken at the horrors you must have faced.
For a split second, there's that hesitation, like, you know, when somebody kind of awkward gives a hug and they're kind of like, yeah, okay. That's kind of what it was like for a second, until the queen actually like hugs her, and then Brekke just clings to her and is just sobbing. Because it's in that moment, yeah, and Sarek would feel like in that moment there's that, it's I don't know how you would describe it, but it's almost like an elation, because yeah, in that moment everything in Brekke recognizes this is truly her mother. Even though she had recognition before, this is like 100%.
All throughout that, you're just going to get calm. At this point, Sarek is sat down and just meditated in his room like he hasn't done in a long time.
The tearful mother will regretfully end the hug, wiping their tear-stained cheeks, pulling themselves into full comportment. Now, shall we speak with your friends about this fate business?
Sure. You probably need to know the whole story. I
You
can
will each...
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say,
Go ahead.
Brekke can offer that she points to the little wispinator at her collar, and she's like, I can get them all to come here.
That would be fine, yes.
Brekke's gonna tap the wispinator and, can everyone come to my room, please? The queen wishes to speak to all of us.
Oh, yes, I will be right there. We'll need pen. Yes, right.
Sarek will not respond and just start walking.
Real quick, Tier. While they were having their meeting, in my head, Laz has stripped off all of their gear and was going over it and making sure everything was in good working order and fixing anything that needed to be fixed. So Laz will have to throw on some measure of clothing before heading over. But while Laz was doing that, this new connection to the ship, Laz is trying to reach through it to see if they can look at the ship the way they can when they're sitting in the helm.
You cannot.
Okay. Laz is just experimenting with the connection while fixing their gear. But we'll throw on a rope or something and then walk over.
Nan will hastily wipe her eyes and try to make herself look like she wasn't crying, and she's throwing on another poorly fitted green dress this time instead of brown, and just something clean. Make her way over there.
Ref will show up in his black shirt and pants, and you'll be able to see that he too has also been crying. He'll look to Nan before they go in the door, because he will wait for her to show up, and he just look at her just like, I really need you to get it together a little bit, because I don't think I can control my emotions and your emotions at the same time. So he's gonna kind of like smooth the shoulders out on like the clothes and like look at her and be like, okay, you look good now. You can go into the room now. He pats himself down. Whew. And motions for Nan to go first.
She's gonna look a little startled when he like straightens her clothes and stuff, and I don't know what you're talking about. I'm fine. And just walk in.
We're going to work on communication and truth at one point. And he's gonna follow.
In this party?
You will enter, and there before you, sitting in a simple wooden chair, the queen of the Silver Spires, Llewellyn Rose. She will nod to each of you as you enter, giving as much of a smile as can be mustered, and will inquire as to what prophecy are you being drug into.
When Sarek enters, he'll take up station again behind Brekke and just put his hand on her shoulder and give it a good squeeze, and then he'll step back.
Well, Your Majesty, it's a bit of a, how to put this? It's a bit confusing, to be honest. We were told that there's a box that holds some evil goddess named Vashka. And ourselves and another group like ours have been fated to find the stones to lock the box to keep her from ever escaping. But while all this is happening, her lover, some man named Lucius, he's also looking for the stones to set her free. We didn't ever expect to be in this situation. It was an unpleasant surprise, you might say. We were sort of in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or at least that's how it feels.
Yes. And the prophecies that we've been given have been confusing and purposely obfuscated. So we're not sure what is true or what is not, or what is even prophesied. All we know is there's a box that has Vashka in it, and Lucius has it, and he's looking a way to open it.
The Evernight.
Yes, that's the name of it.
That'd be the one.
That is a foul, foul totem indeed. And so you seek the stones.
We do.
And you found one. Congratulations.
Nan will look around confused. Have?
Sarek will stay non-pulsed.
Yeah. You found Arabane's patience.
That sword is one of the stones.
The stone is in the sword. It's in the handle.
Well, I'll be damned.
No, you won't. You're a decent person. I've suspected for a while when using it I've felt some things, but I haven't had a chance to delve into it. We've been rather busy.
There was another thing in this book I was given. Some strange man gave me a book and pointed drift and him a blade. In the book it said 10 stones trouble the water, and if half are destroyed, Vashka can sit on her throne. And I think it actually is talking about the people involved, not actual stones in that case. I think we're 5 of the stones. that trouble the water, and the other group are the other half.
This is why I hate prophets. They always make things in riddles and rhymes and make things obfuscated where you can't find the truth of the matter. The fate of the known worlds is in the balance bad. Just put it down plain and simple.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Oh, Your Majesty.
I
She will
think
give
I
the
like
most
this
awkward.
person.
Nan will give the most awkward little curtsy you've ever seen.
We will have the sages check into this prophecy to see what knowledge we have.
Yes, but so we have 6 stones. We found 1. Machias, we're fairly sure, has 2. 2 more were. A third, we're not sure, somewhere back on Kesha, and then 1 was supposed to be here, and another in the Nightmare Realm. By
The
accident,
one that-
it's not here.
The one that's supposed to be here is the same that's in the Nightmare Realm, and it was placed in the Nightmare Realm to keep it safe. Only a fool would dare to attempt the Maze of Madness. Powerful magic that will drive any living creature insane to the point of taking their own life.
Well, that certainly sounds unpleasant.
Yes, oh, I'm sure Lucius will try it or have some way to get through it. We've recovered vaguely. Locke, you're muted.
It's a good thing that some of us aren't living.
Fair enough. Locke, didn't you? Or Locke. The other Elward. Laz, didn't you read in the journal that Lucius, so one of us reading one of the ship's journals, that Lucius had dealings with them, the Nightmare Realm?
Tier, refresh me. I do believe, if I remember correctly, Lucius had hired the Astral Rose to bring something to Runith Kesha. The ship had also been hired to transport the Diviner somewhere for the Nightmare Realm, or take the Diviner to the Nightmare Realm.
To the Nightmare Realm.
And those were 2 separate gigs.
Separate things.
Yes, I explained that the former captain had been hired to take something to the Nightmare Realm, and was also hired by Lucius to come to Runith Kesha. Was it to pick up something or to take something to him?
It didn't say.
Didn't say. It was non-specific as to why.
And you all slew the Diviner.
Yes.
Do you know what the Diviner was?
No.
A rather obnoxious, cursed individual who caused a lot of problems.
The Diviner was Ophelia, the daughter of Gangriella.
Oh.
Huh.
Should I know that name?
Driftwood.
For the first time, Dreft would speak, but it's in a hushed whisper because he knows the name Gangriella and the history between him and his queen. It would be a whisper of, but I thought she was destroyed.
Gangriella was destroyed. Her daughters live on. Ophelia, Willow, and Isolade. Well, Ophelia is dead now.
Does Nan get anything off of Dreft with the mention of that name?
Panic, terror. But it's all very fleeting. It's like a snap of your fingers and it's gone. Because those are just historically generational names that are still hold power.
Any help that you and your sages could offer? we'd be grateful for. We've been kind of flying blind, so to speak. It's all quite terrifying.
Well, I guess you'll be wanting to go after the Power Stone in the Nightmare Realm.
I mean, it's possible the other group could go get that one. We don't necessarily have to go to the Nightmare Realm.
That might be a course of action we choose, but at this point, I would rather, if we could, take some time to seriously try and figure out a solid course of action.
Does the Nightmare Realm of the Astral Sea, is it something we can get to by Spelljammer?
It is.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So if there isn't a stone here, and it's the one that's in the Nightmare Realm, we have one stone that's unaccounted for. Or
So
at
it would
least
seem.
unknown where it had ended up.
Isn't there one in Glandamere?
That was one. Lucius had two. He picked up the one from the Minotaur King. And he had another one as well, from what we heard. Glandamere was one he may have picked up in our absence. The one that I carry. The one in the Nightmare Realm.
Drift.
Okay.
Two, mine, Glandamere, Nightmare Realm.
Was he not searching for one?
The Narrows. Did you guys get the one in the Narrows?
I was going to say, wasn't there supposed to be one in the Narrows?
Yes, that's
how we got sent to Plinth.
Yes.
Drift, when you mention Glandamere, you will feel a wave of just absolute terror come rushing through Nan.
Just kind of shoots her a look for a second, and it's just like, you good? Remember what we talked about in the hallway?
Mm-hmm. You see Serica recreating the scene from Clue. 2 + 1 + 1 + 2. Is he trying to add up stones? Anyways, the Nightmare Stone would be an option. It's one he can't get to quickly. At least right now, we have the jump on him there. I can't say for how long.
All of the other stones are in Runeth Kesha, except for these two. The one in the Nightmare Realm and the one we already have.
Apparently.
But the purpose of the stones isn't necessarily to open the box. At least from the prophecies, if I remember correctly. And out of character, I'm trying to remember stuff from a couple months ago before break. So if I get it wrong, excuse me. But if I remember the prophecies correctly, the stones really don't open the box. It's us. We have the potential to open the box and destroy Vashka, or open the box and let her loose. The stones are a different alternative. If I remember hearing, the stones allow you to bring back anybody from beyond or the dead, if they're all brought together.
I think that was the lock and key, I thought. Hold on.
Yes, it's the lock and key.
Mm-hmm.
It's... Go ahead.
No, I'll let you do it.
We will have the sages search the tomes. This all sounds very convoluted.
Yes.
We keep getting different information.
Not to mention, Mother, that I asked you about Madame LaRue. She's the one we had to make a deal with to get out of being stuck in between life and death, and to get out of the nightmare realm. She asked that I put in a good word for her, but there's a part of me that didn't necessarily trust everything she said, but we were in a position where it was the only option we really knew we had. And all said and done, now we're all bound. Well, we're bound in twos except for Laz that's bound to a boat. Brekke pauses because it's strange, because would they have known that already because he was in an NPC, or no? Dear, you're muted.
They wouldn't have known he's bound to
Okay,
the boat.
never mind. 4 of us are bound except for we're not. I don't know if.
Oh, I did not get away as cleanly as I might have hoped. But apparently I am now tied differently.
Brekke just kind of like raises an eyebrow.
Whereas you feel each other, I feel the astral road.
Hmm. Yes. But Madame LaRue did help us. It cost us something, but I suspect that's everything in the nightmare. Costs something. But without her help, we would not have been able to get away.
True.
Madame LaRue is a conniving, manipulative little bitch who will die in the nightmare realm, and the birds will feast upon their bones as they rot beneath the shade of Raza Hazar.
Oh.
Fair enough.
Okay.
We did as we were asked. We have put in a good word for her. That is all we were asked to do, and it is what we have done.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And see if maybe anybody knows about these bindings, and Brekke kind of glances over at Nan, and she's like, and is it forever?
LaRue said until we cross the threshold into death.
True.
Of course, I don't know if that means if one of us dies, the other one is freed, or if they both die. It wasn't very specific.
Drift,
Yeah.
your passive perception will pick up on something. A whiff will dance to your nostrils. A smell of Angamoran. The specific scent of Umberkin.
He'll scrunch his face for a second and then go back to being invested in the conversation. Can he do a perception check to see if there's anything, like, if he can hear anything, like any footsteps or anything nearby?
Sure. Give me a perception check. And what will Nan feel while this is going on?
A very sudden sense of being on guard, of slight confusion, and a sense that shit's about to go down. And that is a 13.
You don't sense anything else.
Getting that from Draft, he will feel panic, followed by the immediate calm as her eyes will go white, like she'll blink and they'll be white as Mina taking over, and she will very casually look around the room to see if she
Give
sees
me
anything.
give me a perception check.
Alrighty. 23.
Doesn't see anything out of place. Raph, you will have a realization, a strong realization that will churn your stomach. You didn't put your gear back on. That means your sword is unattended. And we're going to go to break.
Oh, son of a bitch!
We're going to take 10 minutes. I need to get some pain meds and stuff, and we'll be back. And we're back. Thanks so much for hanging out while we did our snickety snacks, our beverages of choice, and all that. Before the break, the party had spoken with Llewellyn Rose, the queen of the Silver Spires. They had been given the help of the royal sages to help find meaning in this prophecy, as Llewellyn Rose believes prophets are convoluted and vague and not trustworthy. It was at this point that Sarek had a realization. Their sword was left unattended.
Yes. Brekke, through the link, you will feel him just get really concerned all of a sudden, and he'll turn to Her Majesty. Your Majesty, excuse me, I must check on something real quick. And without waiting for her to say, he's out the door. And you'll feel like that pit in the stomach just oh shit, kind of going through him as he heads for his room.
Entering your room, you will see your gear there on where you had left it.
He will grab Arabane's patience, make sure it's still there.
It is still there.
Hug it, pat it a few times. And at the very least, he'll sling Arabane's patience and head back to Llewellyn Rose in the room.
Coming back into the room, Llewellyn Rose will whisper to Brekke, we will talk again soon in private. I will go now and set the sages into action. We will leave no stone unturned or no tome unopened until we make sense of this prophecy.
Speaking
And
of tome,
since I'm assuming that you all will be wanting to go after the stone, I will make way to transport you to the Maze of Madness.
speaking of tomes, I have one that might be worth looking at as well, but I can't leave it behind to be studied. I need to take it with me.
Okay.
If your Majesty would be willing to let one of the sages look over it, that is.
Of course.
Right then. What do we do now?
Suppose we
Sir,
for
the sword. Your sword is as it was when you left it. I would suggest, if it is, then keeping it on your person at all times going forward, now that we know its import.
yes. Again, he'll glance it over to make sure everything's as it should be.
Give me an investigation check.
Damn it.
Can I help?
Sure. You have advantage, so
I'll take the first roll, the 19.
it appears to be unmolested.
Oh, dear. I should have added that right before Nan spoke, she would have blinked, allowing her eyes to go brown again.
Okay.
Very well. Yes, I assume we're for dinner or a feast. Although I'm confused on the rules. If it was offered to us, then we can't eat it?
That's what um the imposter, the diviner queen or imposter one said, was that if it's offered, that's where the magic comes into play, but if it's just out there for you to take, that it's safe.
But Her Majesty just offered everything to us freely.
That is
I
conundrum.
think
My suggestion is we don't eat or drink at the feast.
That's
Oh,
not an issue for me.
rations it is.
You have to start handing out the food.
I catch on to some things, not others.
Good job figuring that one out.
And he will, I guess, wander back to his room at this point and finish cleaning up his gear to look the part of bodyguard for Brekke. And yes, he will munch on some rations and drink some water as he assumes his calm again.
As I assume Nan has probably exhausted the rations she bought at this point, she'll actually accept the rations offered by draft. Thank you. If anyone needs me, I'm gonna go back to my room for a bit. And she'll make her way.
If you need me before the feast, don't. And Draft will walk out and go to his room and start journaling.
Brekke, of course, just stays put because, well, they all came over to her room, so she eats a little bit, drinks a little bit of water, and then she's just gonna zone out, meditate, whatever. Just kind of sit alone with her thoughts a little while.
All right, is Locke there? Okay, he moved. Okay, he did freeze up.
Yeah, Laz goes back to going over their gear and making sure everything's still in good working order and doing any patching or whatever, and tweaking on armor that is necessary after normal wear and tear, and then before it's time to go down for the feast, dons everything back on.
Mm-hmm. At some point, if he's got time, depending on how much time we have before feast, he will sit and just meditate with the sword on his lap, and now that it's been confirmed, start trying to figure out, or at least contemplate, how this thing works, given the fact he is not magical in nature whatsoever.
Oh, Drift,
Me.
as you're journaling, that scent will come to your nostrils once more. That mixture of cedar and evergreen. The Far Striders, Lucal, the Ranger Umbrican that is always the scout for the others.
He'll snap to attention and just be on alert, looking around his room.
Give me a perception check.
Feeling him suddenly become alert like that again, Nan will have a minor panic attack.
Twelve.
Thank you.
He will call out, not really call out, but he'll whisper in Anger Morin. Who goes there?
There is no response, but the scent is stronger.
Okay. So if you will not come out, then I will sit down. He'll turn the chair around from the desk that he was writing at, and he will sit it down, and he will sit in the chair. He says, I will sit here until you decide to come out and talk to me like a civil thing to do. And he'll sit.
The fireplace will move. Torches lit behind it in a stairwell going down. The scent most definitely coming from the stairwell.
He'll feel a sudden rush of excitement, and then curiosity, and then he will put on his coat and sword, leaving his armor behind for a hot second, and go down the stairwell.
All right. Going down the stairwell, you come to a hallway. It is hewn stone carved into the bedrock of the very foundation of the Silver Spires. If you follow it, you will come to a single door, partially ajar.
He will sneak over to the door and look through the partially ajarness.
Give me an investigation check. First, I need a stealth check, then an investigation check.
A 12 on my stealth.
Okay.
And then investigation, you said? 18 on investigation.
You will see a cavern, black stone, glistening as cracks in the ceiling let through rays of sunlight. You will see the Umbrican, Blue Cow, 3 sword wielders, 3 archers, waiting.
Given his schooling, would he possibly know what this would mean? This kind of group?
That they're expecting combat. They're here to fight someone. They're here for someone.
He will look at the stairs behind him, look at the door in front of him. He'll shake his head because he will have a moment where he feels that this is going to be a mistake, but he's going to do it anyway. And he pushes open the door and he says in Infernal, "Hail and well met. Who are you, and what is your business here?"
We are sent by the order of the Shadowed Sister. We come to claim that which is ours.
What is it that you think is yours?
You. Please roll initiative and join me in Owlbear Rodeo.
And he's fuck. Well, I knew that was half coming. At least the Wispinator is on his coat.
Remember, kids, always take a healer with you.
Hey, Tyr.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, in the time that we've spent in our rooms, would that count as a short rest?
It would.
Oh, goody.
Take it.
That makes a big difference for me.
All right. Draft. What'd you get on your initiative?
23.
All right. You have initiative.
All right. Dreft is going to object interaction. Draw his sword, the Raven's blade, and then is going to bonus action apply poison to the blade, and then is going to charge 30 feet forward, and that is his turn.
All right. As you charge forward, the three swordsmen will join forward to meet you. The archers, for now, holding their turn. Their arrows are knocked, but they are not yet firing. Swordsman number 1, 13 to hit.
13 will be a miss,
Even without your armor?
even without my armor.
All right. Second attack. That is a natural 20.
Oh no. Nan will feel pain.
That'll be 12 points of piercing damage. Number 2 will attack with advantage.
How much of that damage does Nan get?
Roll a 1d4.
2.
That is 5 points of damage. 2 points for Nan. Roll another 1d4, please.
2 again.
Much damage was that tier for me?
5. And then the last attack will miss. With advantage, it misses. How the fuck did that happen? All right, here goes.
Draft is going to object interaction, say into his Wispinator, my room, down the stairs, hurry please. And is going to take a swing on sword number 2.
All righty.
Here, I'd like to
24.
24 will hit.
12 magical slashing damage.
All right. Is that your turn?
And then is going to, using my mobile feat, is going to use movement to come around behind number 1. So number 3 will get attack of opportunity, but number 2 will not.
And that's a 3. All right.
Here, I'd like to note that when he got hit with that first attack, Nan would have screamed at the sudden sensation.
Y'all will hear a scream coming from Nan's room, and then in the Wispinator to come down the stairs in Dreff's room. So I need everyone else to please roll initiative. Brekke.
14.
Laz, you're muted, by the way.
16.
Nan.
12.
And Sarek.
Sarek will stand up, stretch a bit, get ready to go because he rolled a 2. Apparently, he's not in a hurry.
All right. Dreff, you went. It is now Laz.
Cool. So I am going to, as my action, cast Dimension Door and teleport myself into Dreff's room. And then I'm going to take the rest of my movement. I assume once I'm in the room, I see the stairs, and I'm going to take the rest of my movement down the stairs.
Okay.
And that will be my turn.
All right. That will bring up Dan. No, not Dan. Brekke.
Breekke's just going to take however much movement to get however close to where they need to be. So,
Okay.
out of her room into Dreff's, however far you want to say she gets.
All righty. Now it'll be Nan.
She's going to scream in that moment when he gets hit, hearing him call for help. Going to let Esmina take over. Esmina's going to get up, start running to Dreff's room toward the steps as quick as she can. I think he was the room next to hers, so I don't know how long
Yep.
exactly it'll take.
And Sarek.
Having stretched, he will burst out of his room at a full sprint in his gear with Airbane's patience, doing a double dash move as far as he can go, as fast as he can move.
All right. So, Laz and Nan. Laz will be arriving on their next turn, and then the rest of you into your next 2 turns. You'll be arriving. It is their turn. And Albert just crashed on me. Give me just a second, folks. Sorry. Tech Gremlins.
Here,
Yes.
I have forgotten something, and if you'll permit me, um, when I struck with my sword, they should have made a Constitution saving throw DC 14 because it's poisoned.
They are immune to poison.
Fair enough.
They're immune to poison and to fear. Those are, you would know that
That would,
being they have absolute immunity to fear and to poison.
okay.
Number one will turn to meet you. Will miss. That's another nat 20.
Can I use uncanny dodge on that?
I'll allow it. So it would have been 11 points of damage, so it'll be 5 points of damage.
Whew.
Please roll a 1d4, Nan.
4.
The other two, having heard your comment into the Wispinator, will move forward to take a guarding stance to the entrance. This will bring back to your turn, Draft.
Griff will kind of breathe a sigh of relief. You'll feel that, Nan, that he slightly feels relief. Seeing the two break away to the door, and he only has to fight the one person. He is going to, however, bonus action, take steady aim. So he's not going to move, and he gets advantage on the next attack roll.
That's not just ranged attack, that's any attack.
It just says, as a bonus action, you give yourself advantage on your next attack roll on the current turn.
Okay.
So I imagine it's him kind of dodging and waiting for the right moment to strike. There's a 22.
Yes, 22 hits.
Right.
And don't forget to add your sneak attack because you rolled with advantage.
Yeah. There's a 17 for damage, magical slashing damage, and then 21 sneak attack damage.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Damn.
And in a moment, the Umbrakin that are here will look very puzzled as they all turn to ash. The head Umbrakin being destroyed.
That sword went right through his heart. That was his. He's dodging and weaving with the scimitar, and then he just stops and just hand to his chest, extends his arm out, and the sword is just through him. Hell yeah!
Lucky.
Wrinkling of cloaks that fall to the ground along with diamonds where the 6 Umbricans stood. The rest of you will make your way into this cavern, seeing a very interesting draft.
Oh, so there you are. I was wondering when you would show up.
Oh,
What
it
is it?
appears we are late to the party.
What happened?
Do you remember? Of course, you remember. There was a smell earlier when I was in the room with the queen. You probably felt me have a little moment of oh shit, and then I was in my room and there was the same smell. I followed the stairs that you have come down yourselves, and I found what is the name of them? Lao Shu?
Longstriders, Liu Cow.
So Liu Kao, so long striders, it's a kind of a big deal where I'm from. And they wanted to kill me, I think. Luckily, I managed to kill the ones that had duplicated itself, and didn't need to worry about having to fight him and 5 others of them. That's why I called for help, because there were 5 of them. If you go around, there should be some cloaks with some diamonds. I don't suggest you take either of them, but hey, you do you, as they say in the material realm.
You are hurt.
Oh yeah, you can see the he has like cuts that are actively bleeding.
It is disconcerting to be able to feel when you are injured. It is bad enough feeling when Nan's body is injured. If I may.
Please, by all means, if you've got the goods to heal me up, yeah, that should be very nice of you.
Gonna use a 3rd level cure wounds on him.
Drift, if you're going to do something dumb, at least wear your armor. And he'll just spin and walk out.
16 points of healing for Draft.
Ooh, that feels nice.
Roll a d4, man.
1.
You get 1 hit point back.
Yes, across the lake, you feel slight annoyance.
Yes, I think Sarek raises a good point. If we're going to go exploring strange disturbances and smells, perhaps armor would be wise.
And letting the rest of us know before, you head down the dark stairwell into God knows what.
So, and Laz walks over, draws the scimitar they wear on their hip, and just walks over to one of the piles and sort of pokes at it, clinks the diamond. So why is it we should not take these?
Oh dear. Jeff would know about these cloaks, right? Because of military schooling and such.
Yep, he would know the cloaks turn you into Umberkin.
Well, if you want to be like me, then you can become an Umberkin and wear a cloak. But if you don't want to become like me, I suggest you don't put on the cloak.
I think I've got enough going on without becoming you as well. And the diamonds?
Diamonds?
50-50 chance they're jewel mites.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
There's a 50-50 chance that they might actually be jewel mites and they eat all of your jewels.
Ah, I see.
Through all of this, Asmina is just kind of staring at Dreft and studying him up and down. It would seem that part of my job in protecting Nan is now protecting you as well.
I mean, I'm glad that you see it that way, but I can protect myself. I mean, I did pretty good down here, I think.
I feel like, how is it Nan puts it? You got lucky this time.
Extremely lucky.
So I should keep you close to keep an eye on you.
No, well, that would, I don't want to be rude, but that would, what's the material plane would call cramp my style? I'm a bit of a sneaky into the shadows, shoot from the shadows, move to the next shadow kind of thing. And I don't want to say that you would not be able to do these things, but That's kind of what I've been trained to do.
Esmina will speak for a moment in another language. She's speaking in Druidic. And it seems like half a conversation.
Oh, that reminds me.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit!
No, I think this is
Raph and Locke were supposed to remind me, and they didn't.
we failed. We're
You
sorry.
did?
I have implemented a new mechanic into the realm of Runification.
Oh, that's right. That mechanic. Whew. No, I thought of some other things you shouldn't have done.
Every time when you level that you have the choice to take an ASI or a feat, you may also take a language. It is retroactive.
We had discussed Dreft teaching Nan and Esmina Infernal. And they had offered to teach him Sylvan in exchange.
However you want to do it.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
But she will have a conversation. It sounds like she's having one half of a conversation in Druidic. And then she will look at Dreft again. Nan says she prefers to keep her distance. Though it seems confusing why she would want to me. Keeping you close means I can protect both of you.
Brekke also just kind of like leans over and smirks at Dreft. Well, you know all those times you kept saying we were friends? Friends keep each other close. Friend. And she's gonna turn around and go up the stairs.
He'll just shake his head and smile. Well, just like keep a little bit of distance. You don't have to be like right up onto my character kind of thing, but just distance but closeness. Yeah?
So, do not be too close, but stay close enough to help.
Yeah, like within shouting range.
Are different rooms within shouting range?
I would say so, yeah.
Very well.
Wait, were you trying to bunk with me? Okay, I think you're getting a little too personal with this. You could say you can feel that he is slightly embarrassed, and bashful.
Coming from her end, you will feel a really weird mix of annoyed and confused.
Let's just go up the stairs now. And we'll report to the queens that somebody wanted to try and kill me. Well, probably the queen. Well, maybe not the queen. I hope it's not the queen.
Something will
No.
come to your remembrance, Drift.
Yeah.
They said they were from the Order of the Shadowed Sister. The Shadowed Sister is an order of assassins that were loyal to Gangriella and her daughters. They are the best assassins in Angramora.
Oh shit. Wait. Not the queen. Man, I need to pay attention more. Oh gosh. Sarek. He's gonna come after Sarek.
You catch up with him halfway up the stairs at this point. Yes, Drift.
I full disclosure, kind of still freaking out a little bit. But those people that I just fought, or well, the ones that I fought, they are the best assassins in Angramora, and they came from me from the Order of the Silent Sister, Shadowed Sister. They're loyal to Gangriella and her daughters.
Oh,
So,
right. So you're going to have to be under protective custody for a while.
well, not protective. I mean, I did pretty well down there by myself. I'm just saying that we might want to keep an eye out for them. They're coming.
Right. You got lucky. Or should we tell you the parable of the lone guard who wandered off by himself?
No, I think I know that one.
Wait. Why would they show up now?
I mean, we did just kind of murder one of the sisters.
And they know about it instantaneously, even though it happened in the nightmare realm.
Well,
Okay.
Brekke had
You
been.
make-
Go ahead.
You make a valid point. I am now curious as to why as well. What did you do, Draft?
I didn't do anything, but just exist.
I would venture to guess, because Brekke had been coming up the stairs as well, I would venture to guess that being that these were supposed to be followers that were loyal to that bitch and her mother, they were probably keyed in some way to if she dies or if she was released. And that's probably what triggered it. Just a guess. But it would make sense.
But Sirik struck the killing blow.
True, but
And they came after one of their own?
You remember that D20 I had you roll before the game, Raph?
yes.
I need another D20 roll. This is a Constitution saving throw.
You're up. Yes. Whole whopping 15.
Pain courses through your body.
Twist the skeins.
Ooh.
Does that work on saving throws?
Yes. I'm pretty sure. Hold on a minute. I was pretty sure it did.
Question is, he didn't say whether I failed or saved, so.
Well, he said pain course through. It says any. It says can cause any failed roll to add a d1d6 to it.
Okay, roll a D6, and then we'll add that to your 15. Brekke rolls the D6.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I like that better because I don't like that die.
That's a 6.
21! Blackjack!
21, awesome.
Nice.
So you only take half damage
Oof.
from the poison that courses through you.
All right.
So you'll take 47 points of damage.
Ooh.
Brekke, please roll a 1d4. You will take that much damage.
You will feel Sarek almost topple as the pain courses through him.
That's
And-
a 2.
He will just look confused as to why he's feeling sick.
Oh,
Hurts. Ow. Something hurts.
whoa, hang on, there, buddy.
Give me an insight check, Draft.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna ask if I could do a medicine, but I'll take an insight on that.
How much damage?
Whatever you rolled on the...
Okay, so it's 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for the insight.
It's a good thing that you are Anger Morin. The Longstriders, Luke Howell, they travel in 7s.
Wait a second. Can I do a medicine check on Sarek? Looking
Yep.
for poison stuffs. Thank you, D&D Beyond. I know what a medicine check is. 13.
This is you. Given the nature of what you do, he's poisoned.
Given if I were to ask him some of his symptoms and stuff, do you think I would be able to ascertain what the poison is, given that I'm an assassin that works with poison?
Give me just a straight intelligence roll.
3.
You cannot tell. It could be a number of poisons.
Is there anything
How?
that I can do to help?
He's been poisoned. If you have anything that can cure us of poison, and Sarek, I don't know. There's probably another one of some that I missed.
On hearing that there's probably another one of them around, Laz calls the Mind Blade back to their hand.
Sarek, may I touch you?
Yes, please do. Feel cold.
As Mina having taken over, obviously, or no, still in control. She's gonna lay a hand on Sarek and cast Lesser Restoration.
You will feel the poison magically dissolve from you. You are left weak, but alive.
Ow. Thank you. That's
Laz,
much better. How?
oh, sorry, go ahead.
How was I poisoned? There's no one around us.
Laz is scrutinizing all of the shadows.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
If it matters, I have Devil's Sight.
So it will not. It'll be just a straight investigation check. There won't be any disadvantages.
All right.
What was that look, Draft?
Is there a way that I can investigate Sarek's body to see if there's a dart or something that's sticking out of him?
Go ahead. What'd you get, Laz?
23.
You do not find anything in the shadows.
Esmina would be willing to assist with that medicine check.
So make it with advantage. Draft.
Am I doing investigation or medicine?
Medicine.
Okay. I can't get any higher than a 20, so a 22.
There is nothing. Like, if there was, you would have found it. You and Esmina are very thorough in your investigation.
Sarek starts looking at you funny, then he looks at his armor, sniffs it.
Give me an investigation check.
13?
That was normal.
Could this be a contact poison of some sort at this point?
Are you saying?
I did. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you saying that I accidentally poisoned you?
No, but we did leave our gear unattended for a bit. I have known people who've been poisoned this way.
Give me an insight check, Raf.
And Brekke, you'll feel a cold, dark sadness and despair come from him when he mentions that. 15.
The only thing that was left unattended was your sword.
He will pull out Arabane's patience and kind of hold the scabbard and kind of sniff and look, and since he's held it already.
So you're holding it by the scabbard?
Yeah.
The handle is coated in a thin, oily residue.
Draft. I don't think I like your people very much at all.
Well, so
And he'll point to it. How do I remove this?
how would he go about removing the poison?
Wine would take care of it. Something alcohol based.
Great.
Let's just pour some wine. This is going to sound very weird, but if there's any wine in your room, anything with an alcohol base, it should be able to eat through the oily and the residue on it. Wipe
Sure.
it down really good.
We shall find some then. Although getting a sword drunk would be rather interesting.
Was that how you get a dancing sword? A dancing blade?
All right, guys, we're going to take our next break. I'm hurting. I need to make some adjustments and hang out. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. thanks for hanging out while we took a break. Unfortunately, we're going to have to call this episode here. I just can't continue tonight. Hopefully, we'll be back tomorrow night for Bloodlines. And next week, we will have a full session. Let's remind people who we are, where they can find us, and let's get out of here.
Greetings, gamer. This is Raph the Mad. I have been the voice of Sarek the Poisoned, and I can be found on BLK Dragon 13,000 at dice.camp on Mastodon.
Hey, everybody. I'm Ren Matley, the voice of Asmina and Nan. You can find me over on Twitter at Ren_Matley.
Hi, gamers. I'm still Locke Clark, and I have been your Laz or Lazarian tonight. And you can find me on the social medias at Locke Unruly. That's Locke with an H.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Patrick, a he, they, playing the voice of Dreft Vitakin, a he, him. And you can find me on Twitter at PeculiarPatrick.
Hi, yes, this is Ames. I was the voice of Brekke, and you can find me over on Twitter at LollyGFIFO.
And I'm Tier the DM, the world's okayest DM. Look, I say it every time. Love and inclusion are the torches that light a path to a better tomorrow. Join us and be torchbearers. But the other thing I'm going to say is hug the ones you love tonight, because you never know when the hug will be the last. Love you guys.
Clear.